The kitchen is clean, but the air is heavy. Elias sits alone at the large wooden table, a single cold cup of coffee before him. Seraphina stands by the window, her back to him, looking out at a gray, overcast morning. The distance between them is vast, a chasm carved by years of unspoken pain and drifting apart. The wedding rings on their fingers feel like heavy, cold iron. The silence in the house had become a third occupant, a constant, suffocating presence. Elias traced the rim of his coffee cup, the sound a small, desperate scratch against the quiet. He remembered a time when this kitchen was filled with laughter and the easy rhythm of two people moving as one. Now it was a stage for their separate grief. Seraphina, the vibrant woman he had promised forever to, felt like a ghost in her own home. He knew the fault was shared, a slow erosion of connection, a gradual turning away. He looked at her back, a wall he no longer knew how to climb. Seraphina is kneeling beside her side of the bed, her head bowed low. She is not praying for Elias to change, but for her own heart to soften. Tears have stained the pillowcase. The room is dark, lit only by the faint glow of a bedside lamp. Her hands are open, palms up, a gesture of surrender. Elias stands in the doorway watching her. He sees not accusation, but brokenness, and for the first time in months, he feels a flicker of the love that had been buried under the rubble of their marriage. Seraphina had reached the end of her own strength. She had prayed for months for a miracle, for Elias to wake up and be the man he once was. But tonight, she prayed a different prayer. "Lord," she whispered, the sound raw and unsteady, "I can't fix this. I surrender my pain, my anger, and my expectations. Heal me first. Show me how to love him even if he never changes." Elias, watching from the shadow of the doorway, felt the weight of her surrender. It was a moment of profound grace. He saw not a complicated wife, but a woman of God fighting for her soul, and in that moment, his own hardened heart cracked. He took a hesitant step forward. Elias and Seraphina are sitting on a park bench, the sun finally breaking through the clouds. They are close but not touching. They are looking at each other, really looking, with a vulnerability that is terrifying and exhilarating. Elias is holding a small, worn Bible. Seraphina is listening intently, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek, but her expression is one of hope. Elias sat beside her, the distance between them now measured in inches, not miles. He didn't offer excuses. He simply opened the Bible to the passage Seraphina had been praying over, Lamentations 3:22-23. "I read this morning," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "His mercies are new every morning. I want a new morning, Seraphina. I want to stop carrying yesterday's mistakes into today. I don't know how to fix this, but I know how to start. I want to start with you." Seraphina reached out, not to hold his hand, but to gently touch the worn leather of the Bible. It was the first physical contact that wasn't accidental in months. "I want that too, Elias," she whispered. "But we have to be honest, every day." Years later, Elias and Seraphina are standing on a beach at sunrise. They are older, their faces etched with the lines of a life lived, but they are radiant. They are holding hands, their fingers tightly intertwined. They are looking out at the ocean, but their bodies are leaning toward each other. The sun is a brilliant orange and gold reflecting off the calm water. The scene is one of deep, abiding peace and restored covenant. The years that followed were not easy. They were filled with hard conversations, counseling sessions, and the daily deliberate choice to forgive. But they chose to rebuild on the rock of their faith, not the shifting sand of their feelings. Now, standing on the beach, watching the sun rise, Seraphina leaned her head against Elias's shoulder. The silence between them was no longer a chasm, but a comfortable, shared space. "It's beautiful," Seraphina murmured, watching the sun crest the horizon. Elias squeezed her hand. "It is," he agreed. "But not as beautiful as our second sunrise, Seraphina, the one we chose to have every morning." Their rings, once cold iron, now felt warm, a perfect circle of grace and renewed promise. The marriage was not the same as the first. It was something far stronger, forged in the fire of brokenness and sealed by the miracle of restoration.